Hello, hello, hello. I just woke up. God, my sleep has been just so odd, so strange. Um, and it's odd because this is probably very loud, but I don't care, so fuck you. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, my sleep has been very odd. Um, Sometimes my sleep gets odd when I don't have much of a routine, right? But that's not the case at the moment. I have a routine. I sleep at a certain time, and I've been doing this for a little while. um, but when I go to sleep, uh, I'm still awake in my brain. Uh, and time will go very slowly. And like 4 hours later, I'm like, oh, well, I can't sleep. Well, I don't know it's 4 hours later. Time is going slowly, but not that slow. Uh, it's just I'm conscious is what I'm getting at. It's like lucid dreaming, but um, without the dreaming. Um, so I'll get up after 4 hours and check the clock, and it's like, wow, it's been 4 hours, but I feel like I just haven't slept yet, you know. And then it's strange. I'll get up, I'll do some stuff, maybe a little bit of work, maybe I'll eat. Oftentimes I'll eat, or I'll play like a game or something, uh, and then I'll go back to sleep, and then I just fucking drop off, and then I wake up 4 hours later, and I've actually slept. You know, it's it's very strange. It's bizarre. Um, I've also been having very vivid dreams, but not interestingly vivid dreams, not interesting content. Very like the drama and soaps of dreams, you know. Kind of familiar but not familiar faces, engaged in just like interpersonal drama with me. And I don't have any agency over the narrative for a change. But they're not that interesting dreams. Normally, I dream of fantastical things, you know, end of the world type scenario, uh, tsunamis and ruined cities and kind of cool stuff. Not just fucking people talking. Ugh. I had one. I just woke up. I had one from that that sleep, and I wake up and my head is fuzzy. Uh, when I wake up from the dream, and it's always after a deep dream. My head is fuzzy. Fuzzy. I mean, my head isn't light. My head being light is a different thing. This is like fuzz. Like I don't feel it, but if I move my eyes from left to right, I feel it. I feel fuzz right behind my eyes. It's not uncomfortable. In fact, it's quite pleasant in a way, but it's just weird. It's like fuzz. It's like static behind my eyes. So I had that today. And I've had things on my mind. like another family member, last family member, other than mom, that I would really kind of have any involvement with. He is on the way out, and he's going exactly the same way as my nanny, which is very strange. And then he's the last of that lot of the clan, of that generation. He's the youngest. Kaput. No more. That's okay, I guess. And money issues as well. Money grubbing bastard cunt thieves. Hate theft and greed and avarice. Hate it. Hate people that kid themselves. Such a selective hearing to truth. You know what I mean? Do you? Do you know what I mean? I know what I mean. And you can't convince me otherwise. Yeah. One thing, I don't know why. Doesn't even matter how hard you try. It's kind of embarrassing, really. Yeah, it is embarrassing. When you grow up, right, and your parent or one of your parents has left at a certain stage early in your development where you're, I think awareness and intelligence has to do something to do with it. I was aware and I was intelligent and cognitive enough that I understood that my father, my dad was leaving, right? And you have an understanding that he is your dad, and then he goes, right? And you're too young to really reconcile that. One thing they don't teach you at school, kids, is that doesn't really ever go away. Not only does it go away, but you don't really have a great way to deal with it. It's kind of like building a house and there's a flaw in your foundation. That's kind of what it feels like to me. That's what it feels like to me. How I am. And the reason I say that is you kind of I'm on this truth kick at the moment. Truth with self. I want to be completely truthful with myself. I don't think people realize, at least I didn't realize, and because I didn't realize, it means nobody realizes, but how much shit you hide from yourself. And I suppose it makes sense, really. There are many uncomfortable truths that you have to face about yourself. And I've addressed some of them. And I understand it in that the brain is it's just a beast, right? It's just a thing. I've almost started seeing the brain as a parasite. It's just this parasitic fucking Krang in this bio puppet, right? And the eyes are a part of the brain. The brain grows the eyes so it can manipulate the environment, right? But me, am just a part of this fucking parasitic entity inside this skull, you know? Just manipulating this fucking bio robot. And it just wants to survive. So it does what it has to survive. And in the wild with animals and nature, it often means killing and things, right? But we're evolved now. We don't need to kill. I mean, it still happens, but technically speaking, we don't need to. So what else is there? There's ignoring your fucking your reality, the aspects of yourself that it enables you to continue to be. And if your being is just to survive, your brain doesn't have any sort of imperative programming that says that you need to be better. You know, the betterment of yourself comes from your you-ness, which is an ethereal thing. It's not real. It's your will. It's not grounded in survival or the physical world. But anyway, yeah, so I haven't had a great deal of agency over certain aspects of myself, and sort of going through my life with a comb and thinking about how this flaw in my foundation has impacted a lot of things. And it has impacted a lot of stuff, more so in my early 20s where it was a bigger problem. It's less of a problem now because I'm much more of a me. I've developed a very strong sense of self. And I wonder if I did that just so in order to, as a reaction to this flaw in the foundation, uh, to develop such a identity is such I mean, it's an important thing to everybody, but certain parts of my identity are extremely important to me. Integrity, right? And I wonder if that's because I interpret my dad leaving and not bothering with me for 36 years, even though he is still alive and is living a functioning life in society, right? He chooses not to. So I interpret that as a lapse in a severe discrepancy in integrity, right? So you have an extreme action, an extreme reaction. Me, I choose to a fault to pursue this relentless idea of integrity, where everything that I do has to fold into this super philosophy always. And I don't to get it wrong, like I like living like that. It feels very holy. I'm not religious, but it feels holy. It feels rewarding when it does reward, which is not often. But when it does, it feels nourishing in a way that I would have trouble describing. It's not emotional. It's something deeper. It feels nourishing in a way that is in the everyday. So I'm happy to be that way. And I'm happy for my circumstances to be and to have been such as they are in order for me to develop in this what is arguably a unique way. Not unique, nothing is unique, but rare way. But one of the things I do hate, and it's so fucking baked in, and I don't know how to fix it. I have such a. There are times where I have. It's much less of a thing now. than I was when I was younger, but I have such a extreme reactions to men that come into my life that I heard screaming outside. Men that come into my life that have certain attributes, maybe that I perceive as strong, or I would like to have myself or learn from, right? And that all comes to be because I didn't have my dad to teach me, right? So I had to teach myself. But now that I have an identity, uh, and it's pretty complete, I still have this leftover mechanism, this leftover survival mechanism, where you could be such a piece of shit, right? But if you have something, there's some part of you that I would, maybe it's confidence, maybe it's a strong way of speaking, maybe you dealt with a relationship with a woman that went sour extremely well, in the sense that you got a lot of kind of retribution and cathartic relief from that because of how you acted like such a cunt, right? These are things that I have lacked or do not have or would like to develop in order to protect myself. So I will humor people that do not fit into my worldview, people that by all accounts I should not like. I will humor it. Uh, and I have such a hard time turning that off. Because I know that I don't like these people. They are not fixtures in my life. I don't really want to be friends with them, but I'll kind of like hang around. You kind of hang around to see if you can learn from them. And I can see this pattern of behavior throughout most of my life. And indeed, some of the things that I'm quite good at now do come from these kind of male role models that I seeked out uh, and learned from, for better or worse. I learned my kind of, I have an emotional aloofness at times. I learned that from two male role models that it didn't really come from my home, because there is no man here. It didn't come from myself. It came from these third parties that were a part of my life at some point. And it's often not positive. You pick up some shitty traits because survival is messy, man. Survival is a dirty business. Uh, Survival means getting down in the dirt. It means getting bloody. It means killing. It means compromising your morals. It's bad. It's bad news. Which is not to say that you embrace that, as a lot of people do. They have a bad time and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm having a bad time, so I should just throw out my morals forever." No, you fight against it. You push against it. But sometimes you do have to collapse it, and that's okay. Uh, so I suppose the question is, am I still in survival mode? In some ways, yes, 100%. In many other ways, no, not really. I have Granted, I'm not making any money, so this is going to have to change eventually. But in the interim period, I am. I have a focus. I'm carrying that focus out every single day consistently, and that feels rewarding. I look over the work that I've done over the couple of months that I've been doing it. That feels rewarding. It feels good. It feels higher than survival. And how does this relate to these kind of role model attributes that I seek out? Yeah, I suppose it doesn't, but um, it's just something I've been noticing about myself. I haven't met anybody. I don't have any, but actually, I can count the people on one hand who are involved in my life at the moment. And none of them are men. Unless you count like gaming stuff, but we don't talk that way, right? Um, so actually, it's really only a couple of people, a couple of friends. But I was just thinking about it, thinking about these role models. I would very much like to be rid of it. This idea of a role model experience, because I don't need it anymore. But as I was saying, people don't. I don't think people appreciate how fucked it is to live with a flawed foundation. I'm looking for spiders. I have many spiders that live in my room, and I'm happy for them to be. Once they reach a certain size, I had to get rid of them. But I have a collection of, I think, about 3 or 4 little guys. They're cellar spiders. They're the ones that they're very graceful. They walk like they make me think of women spiders. They walk very do 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 do, right, slow, and they do that. And they have these big, long, thin legs, and their legs are like that because they can hunt other spiders as well as everything else without damage to themselves. So I have 3 or 4 of those in here, and that's good because they kill all the stuff that I don't want. But they have an unfortunate habit of, I don't know if it's like my electromagnetic field or something, but they seem to consistently do this thing where they abseil down in front of my face or on my head when I'm working, and my chair is quite far away from the wall, and there's nothing special, no real reason why they would abseil down at this spot. Like there's a higher, closer spot there. I'm not near the corner. They seem to actively choose this one spot, and it's always on or in front of my fucking face. And you know, it's not scary, but it's startling when you're working and a fucking spider is just like hanging from his arse, flailing in the air. So I was checking that wasn't there because I've been working quite a bit, and I'll have my coffee and my pastry and go do some work. So, yeah, whatever. Fuck you.